Hello everyone and welcome to the chapter number 72 of Blender Master Course, Character Creation, Modeling the Clothes of Character. In the previous two chapters, we created the character's face, the hair of character, then we even created the torso, arms, legs and the hands of character. And in this particular chapter, we'll be modeling the clothes of our character like a simple t-shirt, a pant and a pair of shoes. And if you are someone who is new to this course, then you can watch the previous 72 chapters of this course from the link of the playlist given in the pinned comment. Now in the previous chapter, we created this body of the character, and to give it a realistic look, let's apply the subdivision surface modifier. So go to the modifier properties, click on add modifier and in the generate, select the subdivision surface modifier. With this, the character's body is now having a much more natural look. Also, the reason why we can't see the hair particles on both sides of the face currently is that we have not yet applied the mirror modifier. If I click here and apply it, we'll get the hair particle system on both sides of the face. But for now, I will undo this because we might require the use of the unapplied mirror modifier if we want to edit something in the face of character easily. Now before modeling the clothes and the shoes of the character, let's first go to the material preview mode and we will be applying the same material to the body that we applied to the face. So for this, let's go to the material preview mode and click here, and from this list of materials, select the skin material. Now the first thing that we're going to do today is to model the pants of character. So for this, let's first go to the front view, tab into the edit mode, press 1 for the vertex select mode, and now we have to select all those vertices of the character's body where we'll be having the character's pants. So first of all, press Alt plus Z to turn on the X-ray mode, and now I'll be selecting all these vertices over here. Let's also add a loop cut over here, and then we'll be selecting these vertices also. Now let's turn off the X-ray mode, and to create the character's pants, simply press Shift plus Z to create a duplicate and right click to cancel the movement. Now currently, we are in the edit mode of the body, and as a result, the duplicate that we created is not a separate object. And to convert it into a separate object, press P for the separate menu and select selection. Now let's come out of the edit mode, and by doing this, we have now separated the body and the duplicate which is saved with the name cube.001 that we'll be using as the character's pants. Let's also rename this particular object to pants. Similarly, I will also change the name of this cube to body. Now with the pants selected, if I go to the edit mode, then you can see here that all the vertices are exactly at the same position as that of the original body, and as a result, the pants are overlapping with the body. To prevent this from happening, press A to select everything, and now we'll be using the shrink flatten tool. To access this tool, simply press Alt plus S, and if I move my cursor in the upward direction, then you can see that this tool is basically moving the vertices along the normals. So right now, we won't be increasing this value too much, so let's keep it in such a way that it's not completely overlapping but is still away from the body. Now press 1 on the numpad for the front view, and we'll be extruding the bottom vertices to make the pants longer. So for this, select this bottom edge loop, press E to extrude it in the Z axis. Also, press 3 for the face select mode, select this bottom edge loop, and we'll slightly extrude it along the normals in order to make the pants look folded from the bottom. So press Alt plus E and select extrude faces along normals, and if I move my cursor, then you can see here that the face loop that we selected is now getting extruded along the normals. To give the fold a much natural look, let's add a loop cut over here. So press Ctrl plus R, left click and right click to cancel the movement. Now with the shift key holded, we need to select this edge loop, and for this, along with the shift key, we'll also hold the Alt key. Then I'll select an edge over here, and with both of the edge loops selected, we'll move them up in the Z axis. Now we have completely modeled the pants of our character, and now before applying the material to it, first right click and select shade smooth. Now to create a material, let's go to the material preview mode, let's expand the timeline editor, and we'll then convert it into the shader editor. So click on this icon and select the shader editor. To remove the skin material from the pants, simply go to the material properties and click on the minus icon. Let's create a new material, and we'll first work on the color of this material. For this, let's add a color ramp node. So press Shift plus A, go to converter and select the color ramp. Let's place it over here, connect it to the base color in the principal BSDF. Now in the color ramp, we'll be using a mix of black and blue color in order to give it a jeans-like appearance. So with the first pointer selected, we are having the black color. Now let's create one more pointer by clicking on this plus icon. Also, let's move it over here, and we'll change its color to the dark blue. Let's also reduce the brightness from here in order to make it look more darker. To give it some texture, we'll be connecting the color ramp node with the Warner texture. So press Shift plus A, go to texture and select the Warner texture. Let's place it over here. Now connect the distance socket to the factor in the color ramp. Let's also turn on the normalize in the Warner texture, and with this we have this simple material created for the pants which are having the Warner texture, and as the colors, we use the color ramp with a mix of blue and black. But to give it a 3D look, we'll be adding the bump node. So press Shift plus A, go to vector and select the bump. We'll place it over here, connect the normal to the normal in the principal BSDF, And for the input, we'll be using a mix of noise texture and the magic texture. So press Shift plus A, go to texture, and first of all, we'll be adding the magic texture. So let's place it over here. Now press Shift plus A again, go to texture and add the noise texture. We'll place it over here. Now to combine both of them together, we'll be using the mix color node. So press Shift plus A, go to color and select the mix color. We'll place it over here. Now I'll take the result socket of the mix color node and connect it to the height of the bump node. Now for the texture part, we'll first connect the factor socket of the noise texture to the mix color node. So I'll take the factor socket and connect it to the socket A. Then in the socket for the color B, I will take the magic texture by using the color socket and will connect it to the socket B. Now to give it a realistic look, let's first go to the noise texture and we'll increase the scale value to something very high like 1000. Also in the magic texture, let's increase the scale value and we'll keep it to something like 500 or 600 in order to give it a fabric like look. Moreover, if you want, you can try to change the various parameters over here in the noise texture if you want to change the way how your current material is looking. But for now, I won't be doing much changes except for the scaling values which we have entered for both of these textures. And with this, the pant or the jeans for a character is completely ready. Now moving ahead, the next thing that we'll do is to model the shoes of our character. So for this, I'll again select the body. Let's also apply the shade smooth to it, tab into the edit mode. Now we need to select all those vertices or the edges or the faces where we want to model the shoe. And to do this properly, let's first turn off the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. And to do this, simply click on this real-time display button in the modify properties. Now press 3 for the side view, then press Alt plus Z to turn on the X-ray mode, and we'll be selecting all these edges. Now we'll repeat the same steps that we did while creating the pants. So first of all, press Shift plus D to create a duplicate and right click to cancel the movement. Then to separate the shoes, press P and separate by selection. Let's come out of the edit mode, then select the shoes and we'll rename it in the scene collection. So let's change their name to shoes. Now tab into the edit mode, press A to select everything, and to use the shrink and flatten tool, press Alt plus S and I'll move my cursor slightly upwards. Now left click to finalize. Now to add some detailing to the shoe, let's add a loop cut over here. So press Ctrl plus R and add a loop cut. Press 3 for the face select mode and select this bottom face loop. Now press Alt plus E to extrude and select extrude along normals. And if I move my cursor, then the face loop will get extruded along the normals. Let's return back to the object mode and also enable the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. Right now, we can clearly see that the shoes and the feet are still overlapping. So tab into the edit mode, press A to select everything, press Alt plus S again and increase the offset by moving up the cursor slightly. Now left click to finalize, and with this, the shoes are now completely ready. Also, I'll select the body and enable the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. Now moving ahead, we'll create the material for the shoes in our scene. So let's go to the material preview mode, and to create the material, let's go to the shader editor, click here, and for now I'll be selecting the same material that we applied to the pants. We'll be modifying it in order to create the material for the shoes. So for this, let's first create a duplicate of this material. So click on this icon to create the duplicate. Then in the color ramp, I'll select this blue pointer and we'll change its color to the brown color. Let's also reduce the brightness, and with this, the material for the shoes is now ready. If you want, you can make any changes in the texture to modify the way how the material looks. For example, the scaling, the detailing, roughness, or colors. But for now, I have selected the brown color for the shoe material. And now moving ahead, we'll now be creating the t-shirt for our character. For this, let's first enable the solid mode, then press 1 for the front view, select the body, tab into the edit mode. Now press 1 for the vertex select mode, press Alt plus Z to turn on the X-ray mode. Let's also disable the real-time display of the subdivision surface modifier. And now we'll be selecting all the vertices that we want for modeling the t-shirt. Now with these vertices selected, let's turn off the X-ray mode, and we'll now check if we want to select or deselect any particular vertices. So first of all, I will deselect these vertices around the character's neck by holding the control button and selecting them like this. So let's deselect all of these. Also, to include any vertices, you simply need to hold the shift key, and with the shift key holded, I will be selecting this edge loop on the arm. Now to create a t-shirt, press Shift plus D to create a duplicate, right click to cancel the movement, and to separate it from the body object, press P and select separation by selection. Let's return back to the object mode. Now let's rename the body.001 to t-shirt. Now tab into the edit mode. Now press A to select everything, Alt plus S to turn on the shrink and flatten tool. Then I'll move my cursor and then left click to finalize. Now to make the neck look rounded, I'll select this vertex, press G to move it and place it over here. Similarly, I will select the remaining vertices in this edge loop and will move them in the x-axis like this for a better geometry. Now let's adjust the same from the back also. So for this, I will select this edge loop and will move it in the x-axis, and now it looks perfect. Now to make the t-shirt look folded, from this side, press 3 for the face select mode, select this face loop, press Alt plus E and select extrude faces along normals. Now I'll move my cursor up and left click to finalize. lies. Now let's return back to the object mode and let's also turn on the real-time display in the subdivision surface modifier. Also, I'll select the body and turn on the real-time display in the subdivision surface modifier. Now before creating the material for the t-shirt, let's first select the t-shirt and tab into the edit mode, and we'll be adding a loop cut around the folded region. So press Ctrl plus R and add a loop cut over here. Let's return back to the object mode, and now we are ready to create the material for the t-shirt. So let's go to the material preview mode. Let's also go to the front view by pressing 1 on the numpad and zoom out. Now we'll be using the same material that we used for the pants, but we'll modify it to give the t-shirt's material a different look. So in the shade editor, click here and select the material.002. Now to create a duplicate of this material, click on this icon, and to change the way how the texture looks, we'll go to the color ramp, and with this blue pointer selected, I'll change the color by increasing the brightness, and I will be assigning the purple color. Let's also increase the brightness. Also, I'll select the black pointer and move it over here. Similarly, let's also move this pointer in order to give the texture a completely different look. Then if you want to change the color, then you can choose any color in the color wheel and assign that particular color as the material for the t-shirt. Now to complete the model, I'll select the face, then in the modify properties, we'll be applying the mirror modifier. And with this, we have now completed the modeling of the entire character. First of all, we begin with modeling the face of character and its hair. Then we also added things like eyes, the eyebrows, nose, and even the teeth, which we'll unhide by clicking on this icon. Then we created the body of the character, like the torso, arms, hands, legs, and in the end, we modeled the clothes of the character, like the t-shirt, the pants or the jeans, and also the shoes. And so with this, we now arrive to the end of this chapter. In this one and the last two chapters, we discussed about all concepts related to modeling the character and the clothes, and from the upcoming chapters, we'll be starting with the character rigging. So our next chapter will be the chapter number 73, Introduction to Character Rigging. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, press that notification bell so that you can get timely updates about the upcoming chapters. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.